Hey, what's up, idiots? We finally got a trailer for the new war, and let me tell you, it's spicier than your morning business after having Taco Bell.
Why is it spicy?
So the new war trailer was shown for Warframe, and a Devstream was held to inform players about it. Since this is probably the biggest update for Warframe since Railjack, and it does share some similarities,
What did he say?
I do want to cover this, even though I usually don't spend too much time in or around Devstreams and Trailers. Let's just go over the trailer itself and then discuss the Devstream and see what awaits us on December 15th. Now, the trailer itself is pretty awesome. Aside from what is actually shown that might relate to new or old lore, the trailer looks, sounds, and feels incredible. Leave it to digital extremes to make a trailer that excites even the people who are very skeptic. Now, of course, we have yet to see the update, but from what we've seen in the trailer, it should be quite epic. So, the trailer starts off with an operator looking at Nata after defeating multiple sentients, clearly in emotional anguish. They then wake up to the Lotus carrying them through their ship's transference room, which all seems to be a dream before the operator transfers into a Warframe, taking over what looks like a Grineer stronghold with two other operators. The scenes look impressive, and the Tenno give the Grineer a run for their money. Shortly before gunning them all down, the operator controlling Nova gets blasted out of transference due to their Warframe being hit with what looks like some massive damage from an Ogress.
Be gone, sucks!
The operator exits transference and proceeds to melt the Grineer with their void beam in a fit of rage, who run away in fear. The scene then switches over to what looks like the operator having a fever dream and waking up in Margulis' hands, before finally waking up in present time again, facing Nata, an armada of sentients, and preparing for a fight. From the looks of it, before making the decision to stand and fight, the operator remembers the different faces and emotional attachments to Margulis, the Lotus, and finally Nata, making up their mind in a split decision to destroy what they've become. It's unclear what happens next because the trailer leaves us at a cliffhanger, which honestly got me more excited than I thought it would. The whole trailer feels more like a segment from a movie than it does an actual video game trailer. And I really dig that approach, even though it has nothing to do with the game. I can't say anything other than hats off to the storyboarding, art, and animation teams and everyone who was involved. Now on to the Devstream. There's a lot to cover, so make sure you're comfy and get your favorite beverage ready. Right, so first off, let's talk a little about the new to-be-released Warframe Caliban. Caliban is a sentient-themed frame with some, in my opinion, older Warframe look. The theme is perfectly represented, and the signature weapon will be a sentient scythe, which, if you know me at all, I'm super excited about. I love scythes and frequently take out the Hate or Reaper Prime to decimate my opponents. We even got a sneak peek at one of the abilities. Caliban can spawn sentients, who I expect will be similar to Necros' Army of the Dead. It could also be that these sentients will work like sentinels, placed across an area emitting some kind of buff or fighting the enemies. Much has yet to be cleared up, so I won't start assuming there are other skills or abilities. The lore implementations this frame could have are huge in my opinion, and I'm excited to see which direction DE takes it. Will there be a grand conspiracy, a new enemy we don't know about yet, or will old enemies start rebelling against the imminent sentient threat? There's also the question of who made Caliban and who is controlling them. I'm assuming that Caliban is not only a sentient themed frame, but actually a mix between sentient and Warframe, meaning it can both be controlled by the sentients and Tenno or Tenno-like entities, as we've seen the Stalker do. I also expect the Stalker to make a grand return and take their place at the sentient throne to overthrow the Tenno. However, my gut tells me that there might be a big plot twist coming, which involves the Stalker, Grineer, Corpus, and even the Infested to take our side, to fight with us, die with us, and make sure a sentient invasion gets knocked back to preserve life as is. The recent changes to Railjack also point to a Railjack heavy gameplay side, where we might have to take down multiple sentient bastions from both space and land, just like we did in Operation Scarlet Spear. Having Tenno and all other factions across all planes of the war fighting against a singular threat is probably one of the better story arcs we could get. Now, I have to emphasize that these are all speculations and could very well be completely different. It has been confirmed though that the quest or storyline will involve multiple hours of playtime, and your arsenal will be either fully or partially locked during the process. This might have something to do with the destruction of our Arbiter and therefore a relocation of the arsenal, but that's just an assumption. Fact of the matter is that if DE tells us that the quest will take multiple hours, I tend to believe it will take multiple hours. hours. They haven't released a solid story-driven questline in a while, and to combat all the questions and wants for story progression, it might very well be one of the best quests so far. We will see on December 15th, if there are no further delays, how the Warframe team plans to deliver the content, how long it takes to complete, and what new functions or modes will get implemented. My hopes are that the game modes shown during TennoCon will have continuous support and that multiple characters will be playable. The slower format of these game modes feels more enjoyable in my opinion, and makes it far easier to make more challenging opponents due to the skills and assets at disposal. Possibly borderline changing half of the gameplay flow of the game could revive some interest in the game and make sure a breath of fresh air enters. As with everything regarding trailers and stuff that hasn't been released yet though, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, because if anything, the trailer is just a trailer. A nice piece of media to watch that should get players hyped for the upcoming events and really nothing more. I'm not trying to be negative here, I'm not saying Warframe bad, I just want to make sure you have your expectations in check. What I want to see least of all is players being disappointed because they had their expectations up in the sky. Anyhow, that's all I have to word vomit today. Make sure to like the video if you did like it, subscribe for more mediocre content, and as always, stay safe out there, Tenno. Later.